So for today, I want to go over SEO content creation and how to optimize your content for the different search engines to help get you more traffic and more visibility. So for today, I want to start off is why optimize your content. What is optimization? Like, why is this important? So I want to let you know why you should be optimizing your content. And then from there, I want to talk about some best practices, some different strategies on how to optimize your content. And after that, I want to talk about some more secret ones that work really well for 2020 that are new techniques that will significantly help get you more traffic and are quick, easy fixes and easy wins in regards to SEO and how to drive more traffic to your website. And then we'll open up to some Q&A. So if you do have any specific questions or unique questions, hold off to the end and I'm happy to answer them. And you can use that chat if you want to. So for today, I want to start off again, why optimize your content? Why should I be doing this? I'm sure everyone has content. Like if you have a website or you have a blog or you have social media content, you already have this content written and it should be good, but there are strategies and techniques to help enhance it. And the reason why you want to enhance it is because content is the most important thing for SEO. So when we're talking about search engine optimization, optimizing your website, content is number one. Google is looking at your content. They need to read your content to better understand what your website is about. Without content, Google and other search engines are going to have a really tough time understanding what your website is about because they cannot read images. I mean, they're getting better at it, but they can't read images. They can't read videos. They just need content. That's what the search engines are looking for. So content helps the search engines better understand what your website is about, which is what crawling is. So search engines have what's called spiders and they go around crawling the internet. And these spiders can't really understand what images are yet or videos. They can read the image file name, but that's not really enough information to give them. So they're looking for text content. And what this is going to do is help the search engines better understand what your website's about, which is going to get you more rankings in the search engine. So if Google is able to understand what your website is about, then they could start showing you to people searching for your product or service. Let's say you have a store online and you're selling bicycles and you have a bunch of product images on your website, a lot of images, a lot of products on there. Google could kind of read those images and see that they're bicycles, but they need more content to really support that, to let them know this is really a bicycle store or a shop and they're selling these different types of bikes. Without that content, the search engines are going to have a tough time figuring that out. And then they're going to have a tough time saying, we can rank you, because if they don't know what your website's about, they're not going to want to rank you in the search results. So content is what they are looking for you to guide them and let them know this is what my website is about. And please show me for these different keywords when people search for my keywords. So this is ultimately going to get you a lot more traffic. But the main thing is targeted traffic. We don't just want anyone coming to your website. We want targeted people that are looking to actually make a purchase or use your services or whatever it may be that you're promoting on your website. But you want targeted traffic because targeted traffic is going to lead to more conversions. Conversions are what we all want, which are sales, email leads, phone calls, whatever your conversion goal is, whatever your goal is with your website, having targeted traffic come to it is going to help increase that. So making sure that your content is properly optimized is ultimately going to lead to more leads, more conversions, more sales. And by doing this in an organic way, which we're talking about doing this for SEO, search engine optimization, you're not going to have to spend money on ads or anything like that. You're going to have to invest your time, which time is money, but it's a lot less expensive than having to run ads. And if you run ads, you stop spending money, you're going to disappear. If you stop doing SEO, you're not going to just completely disappear. You're going to slowly drop down, but you're not going to disappear completely. So it's a little different strategy, different approaches. So, but ultimately this is, again, best practice. Content is the most important thing for SEO. So anytime I'm doing SEO for my clients or for myself, from my own websites, content is the number one starting point. You need content. Without content, it really is going to be tough, if not impossible, to rank in the search results. So with SEO, I like to say it's like a puzzle with search engine optimization. There's lots of pieces to this puzzle to get you ranked higher in Google, but some pieces are a lot bigger than others. And content is a huge piece of this puzzle. I would say content might be 40% of the puzzle for SEO in regards to optimizing your website to get free traffic. So if you don't have content on your website, I would highly recommend adding more content to your website, and we'll go over different strategies on how to add content to your website. But just be aware, you don't want to just add content to your homepage. You want to add content to every page on your website that you want to rank. So any page on your website that you want to rank in the search results, you're going to need content, because each page on your website is targeting a different set of keywords. And Google needs content to support those different keywords to back you up. So content on every page on your website that you want to rank in the search results. The About Us page, Contact Us page, those are pages you don't need to worry about. Privacy policy, terms of service, don't worry about those. But the home page, any of your services or any of the categories of products that you're offering, those are the main pages that you want to optimize. And from there, you can just keep optimizing, building it out, optimizing your blog posts. I mean, anywhere you have content or any page on your website potentially is an opportunity to rank for different keywords, and adding content is going to allow you to rank for those different keywords. So content marketing is really important. There's a lot of areas that we could do or that we could focus on with content marketing. Today, I'm going to focus on SEO, search engine optimization, but this falls in place with social media content, email marketing. I mean, not all of it's going to fall perfectly in places, but a lot of this best practices will translate over to email marketing, social media marketing, doing press releases, doing product descriptions, writing content for your own website, blogging on other people's websites. I mean, content is out there and exists in many forms. So don't just think it's your website content, video content. I mean, there's a lot of different content out there, and you want to optimize it. Meaning, what is optimizing your content? That just means you're making it as easy and accessible for the search engines or whoever you're optimizing it for to understand what this content is and to start showing you to people that would be interested in your content. So how do we optimize your content? What do we do? So some best practices. These are more best practices. And then after this, I'll show you a couple of different more advanced strategies that are really easy to implement and will have a significant rank improvement in your rankings. But for now, best practices, just want to start off with that because we need to make sure that your content is optimized and has some more important aspects in place. And then from there, you can build it out. But starting point, you want to put about 400 words of content on your website or on each page on your website. The more content, the better. So if you can write 500 words, 800 words, 1,000 words, I really would not hold back. The more you could put in there, the better. So it used to be in the past, like a year or two ago, it used to be if I wrote 500 words of content on my website and you were my competitor and you wrote 600 words, you would rank higher than me. So that's kind of how it is. So 400 words is kind of the average, I would say. It just depends on your competition. So with SEO, another thing is with SEO, with the search engine optimization, we're not trying to beat Google. That's never going to happen. Nobody's ever going to beat Google. Google changes every single day. We're not trying to beat Google. What we are trying to do is figure out who is on that first page of Google and how much SEO have they done. That's all that matters, is how much SEO is these other 10 websites that are on that first page of Google, how much SEO have they done? So when I'm saying content should be 400 words, that's just the average. So what I would recommend to everyone is later on today, search for your keywords and see who's on that first page of Google and start clicking on those websites and see how much content they have. Sometimes they might only have 200 words of content. So you might only need to write 300 words of content. But some of these websites might have 5,000 words. You might have to write 5,100 words. And the more content, the better off you're going to be. Google loves content. So 400 words is just the average, but what I would do is just search in Google for your keywords. Like for myself, I'm an SEO company. I would just search for SEO company, SEO companies, SEO company Los Angeles, and see who's on that first page open up those websites and see how much content they have on that page. And that's going to let me know how much content I need, because if they're on the first page of Google, they are doing something right. They're not there by accident. They are doing something right that Google is saying, we are rewarding you by placing you on the first page of Google. So when you search in Google, just make sure you don't look at ads. So when you search in Google, if you see ads, they're not doing SEO. So skip over the ads, but look at who's on that first page of Google. And that's going to show you how much content you're going to need to put on that page. And I know a lot of people are going to say, Brandon, I don't want to put 400 words on my website. This is going to make it ugly. It's not going to look pretty. I made it this way aesthetically, so I don't have all this content there. And I hear what you're saying, but for Google to understand your website, they do need content. So it's this trade-off with web developers and SEO. Aesthetically, we don't want to have 400 words of content on your website. That looks ugly, but for Google, they need this content, so we need to put it on your website. What I tell everyone is just throw it at the very bottom of your website. You don't have to throw it at the top or the middle. It doesn't matter where that content is. Google is going to see it no matter where you place it. And think about it. Most people, like when you visit a website, how often do you scroll to the very bottom of the website? Sometimes, but not all the time. So you putting the content at the very bottom of your website, most people are never going to see it. But Google reads your website 100% of the time from top to bottom, and they will see it. And that's what we want to see. And 400 words, or however many words you put, it doesn't have to be just one big block of text. Break it up into sections, make it easy to read. It doesn't have to be all together. It could be some content at the top of your page, some in the middle, and then a big block of text at the bottom with different content sections broken up. I mean, it does not matter how you put it in there, but you do need to put content on each page on your website. And when you are writing this content, don't make it technical. I know a lot of people want to make it really, or write how they're going to write normally or how they've learned in school, but you want to simplify things. Don't make it too technical. Write for a middle school reading level. Simplify things. If you overcomplicate things, you're going to lose people. So unless you're selling something really technical, then you could write for a more technical audience, but simplify things. Don't overcomplicate things. Focus on middle school reading levels, and that will help when people are reading your website, making sure that everyone understands what your page is about. It's not too complicated, and it has all the information that people would want to read. Also, it has to be, you want to focus on the audience, on the new reader. This is a little tough for people. So what I recommend is put yourself in the user's point of view. If you were looking for your product or your service, what would you want to read? What would make you want to use this product or service? What would be pain points? What would you be looking for that this is going to help solve these issues, these pain points, these problems that you're having? Again, put yourself in the user's point of view. Like for myself, I'm an SEO company. I'm selling SEO services. I want to focus on businesses that are having trouble getting leads or getting traffic to their website. I'm going to write content that lets them know, I understand what your problem is, and here's a solution. If we do SEO and start optimizing your website, you're going to start getting more traffic, and more traffic is going to lead to more sales, more leads, more conversions, and that's going to ultimately lead to your final goal. So again, just really put yourself in the user's point of view, focus on the reader. I've read lately, there's a lot of talk about having value propositions, letting people know what is it that they're going to get. When you come to my website or when you go to someone's website, you don't care if they've been in business since 2007 or how many employees they have. You want to know, what am I getting out of this? What are you going to give me that's going to help fix my problem? So have a value proposition at the top of your website that lets people know what you are going to do to help them. Just a one sentence, just like a tagline or a slogan, but you want to have a unique one on each page, because each page on your website is targeting different keywords. And when people are searching for different keywords, they don't want to see the same tagline. For example, like, let's say, we could go back to or if I'm selling tennis shoes or shoes on my website, I don't want to say I have the best shoes on my website on every page, because some people are looking for tennis shoes. They want to see the best tennis shoes on a page. So I'm going to say, these are the tennis shoes that will help you have the best performance. Or I might have a page about running shoes where I'm going to say, these running shoes are made to help increase your speed and get you higher performance level. But each page is focusing on a different problem or a different issue that people are having. And just going to try to pull yourself back and understand that every page on your website you want to optimize for a different set of keywords, have different content, and this is going to really help out a lot. And a couple other things, just some other quick little snippets of best practices is you need to have original content. If you take content from another page on your website and post it on your own post it on another page on your website, this becomes duplicate content, meaning you can't have content from multiple pages all over your website. Or if you take an article that someone else wrote on their own website and you take it and put it on your own website, this is considered duplicate content, and Google will actually penalize you for having duplicate content. So you want to make sure that your content is 100% original. It's better to have no content than to have duplicate content. But again, remember, you need content to rank in Google. So if you don't have any content, it's going to be really tough to rank in Google. I do have writers. So on my team, I have a staff of writers that can help write quality content for you. So if you are having trouble with it, you can let me know after this. I have writers. They charge $25 for a page of 400 words of original, high quality content. That will be SEO friendly, but it has to be original. There's tools out there that will check to make sure this is original. Like if you bought content, if you're paying an article writer or a blogger, or if you pay even like for paying me to write your content, and I give you content that's been plagiarized or published on another website, this is going to hurt you more than it's going to help you. So you want to check to make sure it's original content. And there's a tool out there. It's a free website. It's called Copyscape. Copyscape.com is a free website where you could take that article that you bought off a blogger or an article writer, and it'll check to see if it's been copied other places. This is what universities, professors, college teachers, or high school teachers, they'll check to make sure that your content is original. So they use this tool, Copyscape. This is a free tool. It's not Google's algorithm. This is just a free tool, but it will show you if your content's been copied or plagiarized. And it will also show you if other people took your content and published it on their own website and didn't give you credit. Then you can reach out to them and say, hey, I saw you took my content. You didn't give me credit. Can you add my name here, or what's going on? Why did you take my content? So Copyscape, it's a great tool, great resource to check to see if it's original or not. So original content, the real reason that Google wants original content is, let's say you have a flat tire and you're trying to change your tire on your car, and you're searching on Google how to fix a flat tire for my 2019 Toyota Prius, and the same 10 articles appear on that first page of Google showing you how to fix a flat tire, but it's the same exact content. You're going to read all those articles and be like, Google, what's going on? This is not helping me out. I need different points of views. I want different perspectives. So whoever publishes the content first, they get all the credit. So if I write an article and publish it on my own blog, and then everyone else here takes it and copies it on their own website, I'll get all the credit. I'll rank for it. And everyone else is potentially going to get hit with the penalty from Google for duplicate content. So Copyscape, just double check, make sure your content is original, especially when you are paying writers, because you never know if they're giving you duplicate content. It's going to hurt you more than it's going to help your rankings. And also, you want to add keywords. So keywords also, these are kind of more just best practices. You want to, when you're writing content for your website, the title of the content or the title of the page is where you want to put your keywords. This is the most important place to put your keywords. So I did a webinar last week about keyword research, and I'll send out a copy of that. It's on my YouTube channel. If you search my name, Brandon Leibowitz, you'll see my past webinars where I talked about keyword research and how to do keyword research, which is a whole subject in itself. But once you do the keyword research, you want to place those keywords in the title of that content. Title is the most important place to put those keywords. The title is usually about 60 characters. So 60 letters, including spaces. So whatever you can fit in those 60 characters is what I would make your title. I would say make a longer title versus a shorter one, because a longer title means you could put more keywords. Websites like BuzzFeed, they'll have short clickbaity titles, but they're not really relying on SEO traffic or Google traffic. They're relying on traffic from social media. But in order to rank in Google, you need to have keywords in your content or in the title. So 60 characters is really the go-to point that you want to strive for. You want to get as close to 60 characters without going over, and make that your title and include as many keywords as possible. Don't repeat the same keywords over and over again. Just write original you just want to put your keywords in there one time and put as many keywords in there as possible and make it flow. You don't want to just have a bunch of keywords as your title. You want to make it flow into a sentence. So this is kind of where copywriting comes into play with the keywords with SEO, is making it flow and sound good. And when you're doing your keyword research, like I went over last week, you're going to find a lot of keywords that don't have as much search volume, but these keywords are called long tail keywords. Not many people are searching for them. Let's say I'm selling tennis shoes. A lot of people are going to say or search for like tennis shoes or men's tennis shoes, but then there's these long tail keywords like men's tennis shoes size 10. Not many people are going to be using it, but the people searching for it, they know they want to make that purchase. They're ready. They want to buy tennis shoes, size 10 men's. They're ready to make a purchase. So sprinkling these long tail keywords in the content, in the body of your content, is highly recommended. The title, you want to put the most important keywords. That way you rank for those most important keywords that are going to get the most search volume. But you also want to rank for all these other variations of long tail keywords and sprinkle those in the content. And one other thing is interlink your pages. So let's say you're reading a blog post on your website. You get to the very end of that blog post, you could leave a comment maybe, but really you're just at the end, and most people are going to leave your website after that. So what you want to do is interlink your pages together. So if you're running blog posts, have links to other pages on your website in that blog post. So when people are reading that blog post, they're going to see, oh, here's a clickable link to another section on your website. Let's say I'm writing an article on my website about how to do SEO content. And then in that blog post, I have a clickable link that says, here's some secret tips about content creation. You're going to want to click on that link. So it's going to take you to another blog post on my website, which keeps you on my website longer, which is a good signal to Google. The longer you stay on my website, that increases the time that you're on my page. The pages per session that you're reviewing. Now you're viewing multiple pages. It reduces my bounce rate. And overall, it's just a positive signal to Google. And so, yeah, interlink those pages together. Maybe add like 1 or 2, 3 links inside your content. You don't need to go crazy and add 20 or 30 links, but link maybe once or twice per every 400 words to other pages on your website. That's going to keep people on your website longer and reading more of your content. And now I will get to the juice of this presentation, is some more secret strategy or some secret strategies that will help out a lot. I mean, everything I talked about before is really going to help you out. Those are best practices, but now I want to just show you some other techniques that will just help get you even more exposure and more visibility and really get you more traffic. So what you want to do is answer questions. People are asking questions nowadays a lot. And if you want to show up for these questions or show up as answers to these questions, you want to answer questions on your website. So nowadays, when you search in Google, Google has this little thing, or will have a little snippet. It's called the featured snippet, and it has an answer right there for you. So you don't even have to click onto a website. These are all usually done with people asking questions and you providing an answer. So what you're going to want to do is search in Google for your keywords and see what questions appear. So let me just show you an example. It might be a little bit easier if I just show you. So when you're searching in Google, let's say I search in Google for SEO services. We could see that this, so people also ask. So this people also ask section, you want to get into this. You want to figure out, how can I get my content, or how can I start showing up in this people also ask? And what this is all about is people are asking questions, so you have to provide an answer. So what you're going to do is look at what questions people ask and answer those questions in your content. So what I would do is, for myself, again, I'm searching for SEO services. That was a keyword, SEO services. You can see at the top. So I'm searching for SEO services. And on my page where I talk about SEO services, I'm going to have a section where I answer all these questions. Only the ones that are relevant. Sometimes there's some weird questions, so you could skip those over, but any questions that seem relevant, answer them. And you can click on them and you could see these answers that people are answering. You just have to rewrite these answers. And you can see the more you click, the more questions that drop down. You can see I could click, I could get a lot of questions. I'm not going to answer all these questions, but if you answer like the 5 most popular ones or the 5 ones that are most relevant to you, that's going to potentially get you showing up for when people search in Google for these questions. You'll show up in these answers. Also, when people search, when they're doing voice search, which has become a lot more popular over the recent years, like with Alexa and Siri and Chrome and all these different search volume or ways to do voice search, people are usually asking questions, and Google or whatever search engine or whatever provider is providing the answer is looking for a question on your website and an answer. So if you have questions on your website and answer them on your website, this significantly increases your chances of showing up in that section, having your showing up in voice search, showing up in the people also ask. I mean, this is a quick, easy win that I recommend to almost everyone. And I do this for all my clients, is have a little section at the bottom of my website or bottom of each page saying FAQ, frequently asked questions. And then you can even take it one step further and really maximize this, which is doing this thing. It's called FAQ Schema, which I'm not sure if anyone's seen this. It doesn't appear too frequently because it's pretty new and not many people know about it. When you're searching in Google, sometimes you might see this drop down of more links. So if you're searching for, let's say, I'll show you an example of it because it's a little easier if I show you, but if you're searching in Google and you search for like hotels in any state or any city, like hotels in Miami, what Google is going to do, or what these websites have done, is skip over the ads, scroll down, and we could see TripAdvisor right here. So here's TripAdvisor. They have the FAQ right here. They have their FAQ in the Google search results. So they put the FAQ questions and answers on their website, and then they added this code. It's called Schema. I'm not a programmer, so you need to get a programmer to add the schema, but you could see now TripAdvisor has all these questions in here that you can click on it and it has the answer right here. I mean, now you can see this really takes up a lot of space too, and this pushes down whoever's below TripAdvisor, which is Expedia. Now I don't even see Expedia. I mean, TripAdvisor takes up the whole first page on Google. And then we can scroll down. Expedia is doing it as well. Booking.com. A lot of these travel sites realize the value of doing this. Look, Booking.com has 10 or 15 of these answers right there. And all this, and then it even has clickable links that go to different pages on their website. I mean, these FAQ schema, it's really, really powerful. So definitely incorporate that into your strategy when you're creating content in the future. Answer questions and then try to mark it up with this FAQ schema. Again, you might have, or you're going to need to have a programmer to add the schema, but this is a huge benefit. I mean, look at how much room that takes up on the first page of Google. That is a great way to push down your competitors. And if you're ranked number 1, you're pushing your competitors down, so no one's even going to see your competitors. You're going to take up that whole first page or the whole real estate on their screen. You're not going to take up the first page of Google. I mean, you're going to take up the screen on the computer or on their cell phone or whatever device they're on, their tablet. It's only going to be your website. So utilize that. That is my number 1 secret. And one other quick tip, this one is a quick, easy win, is update your old content. So you might have articles, blog posts that you wrote on your website 3 years ago that you spent a lot of time, or you paid a writer a lot of money for this content, and you publish it, and now Google looks at it saying, this is 3 years old. We don't want to show this content anymore. Google puts an emphasis on current content, on fresh content. Google wants to see new content. So if Google sees that your blog post is 5 years old, even though it might be the best, Google might want to show someone that has something that's more newer. So what you can do, instead of having to rewrite a whole new blog post, you can go into your old content and just update it. Add a couple sentences, make it more fresh, make it more relevant to 2020. You don't have to rewrite the whole thing. You could just add another sentence. You could add another word or two. It'd be better to add more than just one or two words, but essentially you just add another word or two. That's changing the content. That's going to get Google to go back and look at this blog post and reevaluate it, because Google's now saying, okay, what happened? This is how it used to be, but now it's changed. What's changed? Is it better now? Do we want to now show you higher because you've updated this content and made it more fresh and relevant? So what you want to do is just go into old blog posts and just update that content, add a few sentences, rewrite it, just make it relevant to 2020 or whatever the topic may be, and you will see you'll start getting those rankings. When you search in Google, and you're searching in Google, Google shows the dates of content when it was published. So if you're searching in Google and you see an article was published in 2015, and then there's another article that was published in 2020, you're probably going to want to click the one that was written in 2020 versus 2015, just because you want to get the most relevant content. Like I said at the very beginning, digital marketing changes. It is very dynamic and is changing all the time. So it works today, might not work tomorrow. So if you're reading an article or a blog post from a month ago, from 5 years ago, you might say, is this really the most up to date? So just update your content. And when you update your content, you want to add a little section on that content saying this was last updated on. So let me show you an example. Here is my website. This is my website. You can see at the very top right, well, the image is at the very top. So this is my blog from my SEO blog. So here's my image, which is the hero image, but at the top right, it has the date when it was originally published. So you can see at the top right, this article was published on April 11th, sorry. So I published it on April 11th, but then you can see in the content, I have a little blurb that says last update, May 9th, 2020 at 4:37 p.m. So if you just update your content, Google might know, but if you have a date in there, then Google's going to know, okay, this article was published on April 11th, but it was updated on May 9th. So this is the most up-to-date version, is the May 9th, 2020 version. If it was written in April, it could have been written in April 11th, 2014, but Google sees now they updated it in 2020. Google will display that in the search results as an article written or updated in 2020. So that is a quick, easy win. That one anyone can do to old content. Look at your old content and just update it with some content, make it more fresh, and add that little snippet saying last update May, or whatever the date that you updated on. If you have WordPress or some plugins that will do this for you automatically. If you're on other platforms, you're gonna have to manually input it, which is not that hard. You just put the date in there, but WordPress is pretty nice, and they have some features that will do this automatically, or some plugins that will take care of this and do it for you. And so yes, this helps out with Etsy. So just like you would optimize, this helps out for Amazon. It'll help out for anywhere. So it doesn't just mean or work for your website. It works for anywhere you're placing content. You want to try to optimize that. And I see, I don't understand your question. I'm not sure. So I might have missed a few questions. If you want to throw it in there, let me know if I missed any. But Diana is saying, does it help if you link high authority websites or if they link to you? So I guess Diana was asking about backlinks, and you want to get backlinks from bigger websites, which is a whole nother topic in itself, which I will cover in the next couple classes. But yeah, you want to get backlinks from bigger sites. And Kimberly, in the people also ask section, does Google rank top down by priority? And Google just ranks by whatever content they think is the most relevant. So if you write the best answer, Google will potentially show you. No one really knows exactly how Google picks those people also ask. It's a really new feature that came out about a year or a few years ago. So still trying to figure out how Google picks and chooses those. But best practices, just answer those questions or have that question written out on your website with an answer. And then Google's going to see your website has that question and that answer, and Google will want to show you for that. And Han was hiring a program is the only way to add the FAQ schema. So you could add that FAQ schema, but you need to know how to code. So if you know how to code and you could add that to your website, you could do it yourself, but it's tricky, and it might be best to have someone that really focuses on coding, because Schema is a programming language that was created by Google and Bing and Yahoo like 5 years ago. So schema.org is a whole programming language. If you can learn it, that's great. But if not, then I would try to just hire a programmer. Freelancer.com is a great website to find a programmer or web developer, and they could help out with all that stuff or help out with that coding things. And so, see, another question, I said that content is 40% of SEO, and what is the other 60%? The other 60% is backlinks, building backlinks. Backlinks are probably like 50%, and then the rest of all these other technical things like site speed and usability and all this other stuff. But the two most important things are content and backlinks. Two most important aspects by far for SEO.